What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? You're listening to the Show the Art podcast. We are back, baby. We're back from Boston. I was going to try to make a Boston accent, but I couldn't even do it.
That's too hard.
And I'm also lying about going to Boston. We didn't go to Boston. We're watching it separately at our homes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, unfortunately.
We're your host. My name is Ames. Alongside with me is my boy, Abe. Abe, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? How's everything? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I was just at home with the baby. Nothing really exciting except for the fights. Oh, actually, I had...
You make it hard to sound like you want, like people should have a kid.
No, I had a great time with my son, man. Just following him around as he crawls and shits everywhere. Just fantastic time, man. So we had a good time. Saturday night, I got a chance to hang out with the guys. It's been a while, so we had like poker and UFC. So it was good times. Really good times.
Awesome, man. Yeah. You still sound like more excited to hang out with your friends and your kid.
No, man. No, not always.
Hey,
maybe
man,
sometimes. Once in a while.
I'm telling you live. Don't turn out like those hood rat dads.
Why is it got to be hood rat dads?
They never see their kids, man.
That's true. That's true. I'm not going to be that type of dad, though. So
Don't be a hood rat dad.
I'm always with him or any kind of dad. Don't be a deadbeat. Don't be a deadbeat.
Yeah, how come?
Don't be deadbeat.
Yeah, like deadbeat is a word that's usually described for men.
Yeah.
And hood rat is normally a chick.
That's
Why
true.
is that?
I don't know.
Why can't we say a deadbeat lady and a hood rat dude?
Deadbeat? That sounds really... I don't know. Well, if you want to start doing it now, that's perfectly fine with me.
If you call somebody a deadbeat, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah, that is.
Like, that's disrespectful.
I don't, yeah, that's something I don't think I could say that to somebody. That's
the
really
only
tough.
way you could call somebody a deadbeat is if they're truly a deadbeat. That's the only time it's called for. Otherwise,
just calling that's like
messed
someone
up.
that's like saying to an athlete you have no heart.
oh,
Right? You see? Exactly.
Yeah, that's the worst one.
You're really you not only did you just stick the knife into the body, but you're twisting it at the same time.
Imagine your coach told you that.
You have no heart.
Listen, son, you tried hard, but you got no heart.
You got no heart, so that means you didn't even try hard. So I'm just being nice here. You have no heart. Get out of here. Get out of my gym.
Oh my God, that's like, that's the worst.
Yeah, so that's why I don't think I'll ever call someone a deadbeat.
Good, smart move.
Yeah,
How
smart
about a
move.
hood rat?
I've called a couple of people hood rat. You hood rat mother.
Yeah, hood rat is like
especially coming from Jersey City, you could easily call someone hood rat.
exactly.
Yeah,
When you call somebody a hood rat, they either really are a hood rat or it's just funny.
yeah, or they're just really like suburb as hell.
Suburbs.
Yeah, so it's anti. Yo, so how was your weekend? Where'd you watch the fights? What did
It
you
was
do?
good. Home, the huge. Just stayed home, watched the fights.
Okay.
I actually watched Bellator.
How was that?
Bellator.
Can you update us on the Bellator?
The Bellator card?
Card.
Yeah. So Bellator, this was their first event on the
Grand Prix.
the Paramount Network.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, they changed Spike TV channel name to the Paramount Network, and you know
That's what
Paramount,
it
they make movies. Paramount
Yeah, they have that
Studios.
Waco thing that you keep seeing.
That's right.
commercials
That's right.
With John Leguizamo.
Yeah. So it's now the Paramount Network.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I thought it was subbing in for or taking out TNT or TBS, and then I realized last night. I was like, oh no, TNT and TBS are still there.
Yeah. So basically,
So it's Spike.
I don't know how it worked out, so I don't want to talk out of my
Yes.
out of my ass.
Do.
Exactly.
Okay.
But used car salesman style. But I think Paramount bought them, or maybe Viacom owns
Okay.
all of that shit. I don't know.
True.
But
I'll take it.
what's
That sounds-
interesting is it went from the name Spike TV to Paramount Network.
Yeah.
How does that make it? Like, if you're perusing,
Yeah, that does.
it makes you think that there's different kinds of content on each channel. Right?
I would just think Paramount's all movies, to be honest.
Right?
Maybe shows like that miniseries at most. I never
Yeah.
thought it would take over like the Man Channel. I always assumed or always felt like Spike was
Yeah.
the Man Channel.
Like when you go to AMC, you think like serious shows,
Yeah,
like drama,
Walking
TNT
Dead,
drama.
Breaking Bad, all
You're not
that.
thinking like All in the Family or
Yeah, Family Guy, South Park.
exactly,
Yeah.
or like just comedy, like. So that's very interesting. That they changed from Spike TV, which sounds like a very man show
And we're used to it being a man.
Yeah, I mean, that's where
channel.
it originally came out as a man channel, right?
It was.
And then
Was it the Man Show on that with Joe Rogan?
it might have been.
I'm
I
pretty
forgot.
Sure. Or maybe it was Comedy Central. Whatever.
I think Man Show was Comedy Central.
Okay.
But regardless, Spike TV hosted UFC when it first came out.
Yes.
And then now they changed it to the Paramount Network, and it just seems like
Does it mix?
no, it's not that it doesn't mix. It's like a different move.
Yeah.
Almost like they want people to look at MMA, or if they whether
Maybe
they're
getting
conscious.
different viewers.
Yeah,
type of thing.
I'm looking through my TV channels. I see Paramount Network.
Yeah.
I see an MMA fight. I might think it's higher quality. That's
True.
what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, I see what you're cooking there.
You know, it's not just some like backyard brawl. It's
Yeah.
not some low quality.
With some people who aren't
yes.
casual or even enthusiasts.
Sure.
With it.
I'm thinking Paramount Network, they got this MMA show on it.
They bring
It
a
must
little class.
they bring in a little class. They're spending a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
I would assume it's good TV.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
But I don't know.
So was it the question is, was it good TV?
So you know, when you watch, it's funny because I was watching both at the same time, right?
Okay.
And the Bellator card started live, like the main card started at 9 p.m.
Okay.
But I had already been watching the UFC prelims on FS1.
Okay.
So I'm watching the prelims, and you know, UFC has its own feel.
Yeah.
Then I changed it to
Paramount.
to the Paramount Network to watch the live card until UFC live card starts, the main event starts. And then Sarah, my wife, is like, hold on, what? Did they change it?
Yeah.
She thought the UFC changed the way they looked.
Ah.
Because what it tells me is there's a clear difference in the
Yeah.
way the two operate.
Okay. So production value.
Production value,
Interesting.
the way that Bellator does, like they have that big entrance portion of it,
Yes.
like they have in the WWE,
Yes.
where people could walk out from a particular
real
spot.
Sports. Okay,
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah, Real Sports with Brian Gumble, and
That sounded so angry.
yeah, so it was like. It was different.
Yeah.
So, you know, Bellator does the WWE style thing where people walk out. It's a big TV, and you get to see their walkout entrance music and all that bullshit. And then they did like a whole introducing all the heavyweight Grand Prix competitors.
Gotcha.
So
Oh,
they brought them
cool.
all out. I thought that was kind of a waste
So like
of time.
So like an all-star game, kind of like they're starting.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
And they brought them all down that runway, and they all stood like face to face. It was like a show.
So it was really like an entertainment. They really went
Yeah.
WWE with it.
Exactly. And then the last portion of that was like Chael and Rampage, who were fighting in the main event that night, like standing toe to toe, nose to nose,
Yeah.
like staring at each other. And then it went to commercial break. And I'm like, first of all, if I'm a competitor, I don't want to be doing that shit
Yeah. On the
hours
day
before.
of. Yeah,
hours
man.
before, not the day of.
Oh yeah, true.
Like 3 hours before I'm competing.
I really would not want to do that.
Yeah. And then second of all, it was like too drama, too show-esque.
Too Paramount-esque.
To WWE. I like it when people come through the stands.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
Okay.
I like how UFC does it. I like how guys in the NBA do that.
Yeah.
I like that. So, you know, they did that. Anyway, so the fights were good, though. I'll run through them real quick. Aaron Pico. If you don't know this kid, you know him now.
Okay.
The guy's an animal.
Is he?
He's like
Weight class?
18 or something. I forget what weight class.
Lighter or heavier?
Really light.
Okay.
He's in the really lightweight class.
Okay.
And he fought this guy that looks like schoolboy Jim. The guy had the body of a schoolboy. Like, you know how a kid's body looks?
Yeah.
Like it's still like frail and
It's not
thin.
It's like developed yet.
Yeah, like there's no shoulder action.
Yeah.
Your collarbones are still like pointing
protruding
down.
out. Okay.
But he was like 5'5".
Jeez.
And then he fought this guy, Aaron Pico, young, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever.
Damn, that young.
Guy's, you know, he's in shape.
Okay.
And then he wipes the floor with this guy. Knocks him out with a body shot. It was bad.
Oh.
It was bad.
Damn.
Yeah. If a 19-year-old knocks you out with a body shot,
Kick or punch?
left hook.
Oh.
Left hook to the body.
Bodied.
To the liver.
He got bodied,
Yeah.
son.
So, really good fight. Aaron Pico's going to be he's going to be a problem coming soon.
Nice. Is striking wise impressed you?
Yeah, I
or
mean,
just overall.
What he's known for is his wrestling.
Okay.
He has I guess a really good wrestling career.
Okay.
or background experience, but his striking was very impressive. I mean, like I said, he knocked the guy out with a body shot, the left hook.
Yeah.
To do that and the way he did it, the timing it took, very impressive.
Okay, cool.
And he's very explosive. So he fought. That was a good fight. And then the 3 main card fights. Essentially, it was Michael Chandler versus Yamaguchi, something like that.
Tamagotchi. Go on.
Michael Chandler looked like Michael Chandler. Impressive as always. The guy's an animal.
Another win for
Yeah.
Michael Chandler. Good
The guy's a freak. I believe he gets a shot at the guy who beat him last time at Brent Premise.
Okay.
I don't know. I like Michael Chandler, but I want to see him against the best guys, honestly, because he is the best guy. But anyway, he's a lightweight. I'd like to see him go to the UFC one day, which he probably won't, and fight the likes of Tony Ferguson,
so
Khabib.
You don't think he'd go there?
Nah, he's
Maybe
like
because he's getting good money.
Yeah, and he's super loyal. He's been with them since the beginning.
Gotcha.
So then you had
hate on that.
Yeah, exactly. You had Rory Macdonald versus Douglas Lima.
All I saw on Bleacher Report is like how tough Rory is. Can you attest to that?
Yeah, I mean, wow. So basically, it was a great fight. That was probably the best fight on the card.
Yeah.
The fight starts with them exchanging a little bit.
Okay.
Rory looks like Rory. Lima looks like Lima, very explosive.
Mm-hmm.
But Rory does this thing, tries to back Lima to the fence, grind him, try to wrestle him. That lasted like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the second, mid-third, Douglas Lima starts blasting Rory's leg.
Whoa.
Like the calf part. Low
calf
kick. And I think it was the 3rd round or 4th round, but it was so bad that every time he kicked Rory, he would fall.
Damn.
Like he was that bad.
Have you ever gotten kicked by like a calf? Have you ever been hit by a calf kick?
No, man.
Because I always wondered how much that hurt. Of course, I'm not gonna ask someone to start calf kicking me. That one, and just fast forward, like what we'll talk about it later. What Stipe was doing to Francis, just putting his body weight right on Francis. But
both are miserable.
Yeah, but I guess both are miserable.
So
right?
the thing with the calf kick is it hurts like anything, but what hurts the most is when it's accumulative.
Yeah.
Like if you get kicked in the thigh so many times and it blows up, it hurts a lot. The inflammation, the pressure from that. That's what hurts, you know? So that's what happened to his calf. But what's crazy is Rory fucking ended up winning the fight.
That's crazy.
He ended up taking Lima down even on one leg. Wow. And just ground and pounding him. And it was crazy.
Was it? Did he win split decision or?
He won. He might have won unanimous.
Wow, good for him.
Because he was winning the first 2 rounds. Lima's problem is, I mean, his takedown defense needs to improve, but his main problem is being on his back.
Gotcha.
It's not that he settles to be in closed guard or be on his back, but it almost seems like he's just not prepared to stand back up at all costs.
Gotcha.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
then the final main event, because they had 2 main events, which was weird. But the final main event was Chael versus Rampage.
Yep.
Snooze fest.
You could tell just the way as you're saying. I'm like, wow, I'm getting tired just hearing you about to announce it. So
I mean, I'll tell you what, Chael's boxing looked really good in the first round. But Rampage looked humongous. And he looked slow and lethargic. He didn't look out of shape. He just looked really slow.
Gotcha. Okay.
And classic Chael took him down each round, held him there. Rampage couldn't do anything. I mean, what's impressive is Chael beat Rampage more decisively than King Mo beat Rampage.
Oh, that
very interesting.
That is
and he took him down easier than King Mo did.
Which is another wow.
Yeah, it just shows the type of setups that Chael has,
True.
as opposed to forcing it like King Mo did.
Yeah.
But regardless, that was the Bellator night. It was pretty good.
Okay.
But again, like
it's the main event that just killed it.
Let me paint a picture for you. You got Mike Goldberg on the mic. You have now Big John McCarthy on the mic.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
wow.
Bellator hired Big John to do play-by-play.
That's pretty dope.
So you got Big John McCarthy and Mike Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Rampage and Chael as the main event.
Yeah.
Like, do you see the picture I'm painting?
Yeah.
And then Rory Macdonald is fighting somebody.
Yeah.
Like
WCW.
It seems like everybody that the UFC had, it's like kind of like turning into the UFC, like mini UFC.
No, not even mini. It sounds like a washed up UFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like let me get the B squad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what it looks like to me is like their better move is to just build people up.
Yeah.
Don't hire.
Don't keep hiring.
Yeah, don't hire Mike Goldberg. No offense to Mike Goldberg, I love him, but now your broadcast sounds like the UFC.
Yeah.
People are gonna get confused with you and the UFC.
That's true.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
You do not want that. So it's like
maybe their hopes. The only thing I could guess from here is that them
Mike
taking all these people, some of the UFC fans will start. Yeah, watching a little bit more. From what it sounds,
which I have been.
Yeah, from what it sounds, then I guess maybe they're doing a good job.
Yeah, but I was watching
but
Bellator before. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm certainly not going to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
because that was on
I don't
free
think
TV.
Knows, but
Yeah.
So what it seems like from the way you described it, it's like going to dinner. You had a nice appetizer. You had some good coffee.
Oh yeah,
whatever. Not even coffee. You just had great appetizer. The bread was good. That they bought in the bread and butter.
The butter.
But once that entree came out, lacking.
Right?
And that's what it totally sounds like. Sounds like you got a good salad, the wings, and
everything was turning out good.
The
and
nachos
then it's like,
were good, but just when that steak came out, more sizzle.
More sizzle than steak.
Right?
Yeah.
Damn.
I like that metaphor.
That's what I do, dog.
You're a metaphor guy. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I mean, if they keep doing, they are trying to build a couple of fighters up. Like I said, Michael Chandler is their guy.
Yeah.
Douglas Lima, their guy. MVP, their guy. Aaron Pico, their guy.
Yeah. When MVP goes on, and now how do you say Pico?
Pico.
When Pico goes on,
like Waco.
I'm probably gonna watch 3 years from now. I'm gonna listen to this, and I can't believe I said Pico. Watch him be like a star, and I said I called him Pico, and I'll bring it up with him if we ever interview him.
For sure.
Yeah, and if you hear that is a card, guys, because we actually just got Mod Cup, the best coffee in town, and if you're looking for some delicious coffee, guys, some good brew, whether you want to grind it up or you got to grind it up because that's the only way to get it, baby. If you want to grind up the best coffee in the world,
tell them.
Local to us New Jerseyans, you got to go to My Cup Coffee, man.
Yeah, go to modcup.com, type in the coupon code Show the Art. I would suggest buying the Ethiopian blend, Humble Jefferson blend, while you're at it.
There you go,
Pick
man.
up a Cascara chocolate bar. Need we say more?
Nah, I'm telling you, man.
We need not.
You need bars.
Yeah, type in the coupon code Show the Art, save yourself some good money, modcup.com, or visit their local stores. Coupon code does not work in the store.
Not in the store.
Only online, baby.
Don't try to print out a coupon. All right, we'll be back. We're going to get some coffee, and we'll be back. And we are back, fully caffeinated, so we're probably going to be 10% better than that first half. But before we move on or go on with this podcast, I just want to give a quick shout-out to Mr. Robert Whitaker. I think I read last night, right before I knocked out, that he had a staph infection that wasn't treated properly, and then it started taking or eating or going at his organs or something like that.
God damn.
Mr. Whitaker, I hope you get back, man, because you are a great champion, a champion people could look up to. So hopefully speedy and healthy recovery.
Yeah, man, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Poor guy. Holy smokes.
Yeah. So it just seems like he was probably trying to get the fight in, even through staph infection, which impresses me more. But yeah, man, fighters, man, you can't, like, the heart that these guys have, the stuff that they'll go through to get a fight and to
I mean,
it's remarkable.
Holy smokes, staph infection is bad enough.
Yeah, seriously.
But
man.
when it gets worse, that's life threatening. I'm sure
it is life threatening. Yeah. Even Dana White, I think Dana White commented like that this is more important. You need to get this.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. So but we still get a great fight with Luke Rockhold
versus Michael Bisping, my boy.
Go on.
That's all I got.
Okay, cool. You know what? Before we get into that, let's talk about the light heavyweight champion, Luke Rockhold's partner, Mr. Daniel Cormier.
Okay, DC.
Yeah, man. Shout out to DC, man.
What a guy.
That was so satisfying to see everything that he's gone through, and then when he came out, which the one thing that threw me off is when the crowd was going crazy. The crowd was off the hook for this guy, man. And just hearing that, man. It's just nice, because one thing, there's two people who I never get to or never expect to get like huge ovations from. It would be DC and Woodley. So We got one out the way. Maybe Woodley down the road might get
his fair share.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So shout out to DC for that win, man. Looking impressive.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Even before we started this podcast, I was telling Abe how not surprised how impressed I was with Vulcan as well, man. He was stuffing a few. Usually Cormier like ragdolls everyone he faces. It took DC a few attempts to really get Uzumir down on the ground, man.
Yeah.
Which impressed me. So I think like he said, Vulcan's still young, hungry. You can see he's hungry. He knows what he needs to work on. Obviously, it's a wrestling. So yeah, man. What were your thoughts on the fight?
Well said. I agree with you. I'm on the same notion. I mean, I believe the reason why he didn't get Uzdemir down sooner is because of this jerk, the lack of setups.
Yes,
he was trying to box so hard in the beginning, and really, it was defensive takedown attempts because Uzdemir was coming at him, guns blazing,
man.
Yeah, Uzdemir was really trying to take his head off.
Yeah.
But then Cormier, to everybody's surprise, was like, you know what?
Fuck it.
Let me stand and bang with this dude. I have good stand-up. And once I start standing with this guy, plus he weathered the storm.
Yeah.
Once you weather the storm, the pop is gone. And then once you start trading, it gets the guy to forget about the takedown.
Yeah.
Boom, and you're able to take him down. And DC's ground game is bar none. You know?
Yeah, no one's touching him.
Yeah, if he gets you down, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. He went Roy Nelson on this guy.
Oh,
man.
my
just
God.
Crucifixed him.
History lesson.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Who did Roy Nelson do that to?
He did it to a bunch of people on The Ultimate Fighter.
Who is he famous for?
Kimbo?
Kimbo. Yeah.
Kimbo Slice, man.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, he outclassed him.
Yeah.
He outclassed him when it came to the ground.
Yeah.
But even stand-up, I mean, Uzdemir looked good, but Cormier looked really good too.
Yeah, man.
Cormier has a weird style where it looks like he's just winging punches.
Yes.
He's just, like, I had this I had this conversation with one of our students the other day.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, what do you think about, like, clean, or no, I forget how it came up, but the argument was clean fighters, like clean technique.
Okay.
Like, and I tried to argue with him, or argue my point that being clean and having technique are two different things. Sometimes they go one in the same. But you could be a really clean looking striker or a grappler.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean you can apply the technique. So when somebody says, oh, this person's really technical,
okay,
they don't have to be super clean looking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sometimes you can get best of both worlds, right? Anderson Silva.
Yes.
Clean looking fighter, very technical.
Yeah.
Then you get guys that are very technical, but not very clean. Cub Swanson. Daniel Cormier.
Gotcha.
Right? Being a technical fighter means you have these tools, you have these weapons that you're implementing at the right times, and they're the right moves for the right times.
Yes.
Right? It's not just doing it at the right time, but it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
And you're very strategic. It's like the word technical is like a group word.
Gotcha.
You know, it's like there's a lot of things
it's broader
going on.
than you think.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So I want people to realize that there is a difference, right? You know, Wonder Boy is a clean-looking fighter. He's also very technical.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Cub Swanson of the world, the Daniel Cormier, they're not very clean-looking. They look like their punches are a little wild.
Yeah.
They look a little sloppy. That just has to do with them not caring to look really sharp and really clean. For them, it's just like, let me just get this punch to where it needs to be.
I know what I need to do.
Yeah, Cormier seems like he's not the most caring for that kind of stuff.
But he's very effective.
With
his striking is a very effective.
Exactly.
To
skip it up down.
Jump on that one. It's what he did with John Jones. He was catching John Jones, man. And John Jones has, I don't know what the reach was, but far greater than any other opponent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when you watch that fight, do you think Daniel Cormier is a clean-looking fighter?
Nope.
Do you think John Jones is?
Yep.
For the most part.
Yep.
But not even.
Yeah.
Some things John Jones throws, they're like, eh. But yeah, John Jones is a very clean-looking fighter, very pretty technique.
Yes.
Would you say Cormier is very technical? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he lands shots.
Yeah.
He mixes in his takedowns. He has good strategy. He's implementing the right moves.
Yes.
And normally you see experienced fighters very technical, right? They know what to do. They're not just winging it.
Yeah.
Being a very technical fighter also means you have a lot of setups.
True.
When you're early on in your career, you don't have as many setups, so you go off instinct, you go off reaction time.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Athleticism.
Yeah, athleticism. You don't have as much technique. Even the word technique.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a bad word to talk about what we're talking about.
To bring it to another sports like LeBron James, when he first started, just raw athleticism. He just gets the job done. Now you see him. Now you could say he's most technical.
Yeah,
sometimes it's
true.
not even like the most cleanest looking. Now that you mention it,
yeah,
it's
he's
not.
not.
Like,
he's not.
He's just. But he gets it done.
Yeah.
So
when LeBron threads the needle with a bounce pass to whoever's cutting to the basket, it gets to that guy. But that pass doesn't look the prettiest.
Yeah.
Chris Paul will do the same thing and get the ball to the same guy, but make it look way prettier.
Yeah.
Both technical, both on point. One guy looks pretty, one guy doesn't.
Steve
what are you
Nash,
gonna do?
yeah.
Steve Nash, the prettiest.
Yeah. Jason
That hair?
Kidd.
Come on, dog.
You can't beat that hair.
How do we forget Jason Kidd?
So you
that
see,
head,
you see
the
what
hair
we're
and the
cooking.
head.
You see what we're cooking, man.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to DC, just everything, the post fight, everything that he's been going through, man. Just like the way he's a class act. He's what. If my son can't end up like DC, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Man. If my son were to end up like DC, aka you're my son, I would love that.
Yeah,
you know?
man. And I would love for him to be to that team, like the way they talk about each other, man. So close knit. Even with Luke Rockhold being in Florida, training with Uzumir, just the way Daniel Cormier kind of held it down and kept it classy, man.
Yeah.
Just saying, there's stuff that we don't know about.
Did you watch the post-fight press conference?
Yeah. Like,
did you hear that one reporter trying to egg him on? He's like,
he
listen,
wasn't having it.
Yeah, because in the post-fight interview, DC was letting his heart out, and he mentioned a couple names. Yeah. And he said, thank you to all my coaches, all my team. He's like, I got Khabib, I got Kane, I got those guys.
Someone that was missing was?
Yeah, he didn't actually say Luke Rockhold's name. Yeah. And then one of the reporters tried to egg him on. He's like, hey, is there something behind you not saying Luke Rockhold? And then for a second, he thought about it, and that's what every great person does. Yeah. They think before they speak.
Yes.
And he was like, listen, he wasn't there. Yeah. But he couldn't be there.
Yeah.
But that's why he wasn't at the top of my head.
Yes.
And then he said the sentiment that Luke Rockhold sent him.
Yeah.
It's like beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful time.
He rested that whole argument or that whole controversy real well, man. He just handles everything like a champion.
Yeah,
man.
you
really can't ask for anything.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we have such boners for Daniel Cormier.
Not hard. Like,
yeah.
I'm not even gonna try to front.
Exactly.
I got
hard ones.
Man crush.
You know what else I have a boner for?
Who?
Inverted Gear. Go to invertedgear.com, type in the coupon code SHOWTHEART15, save yourself some really good money on gis, rash guards, shorts, T-shirts. They got a full line of jiu-jitsu apparel.
They got dope stuff, man.
That's it, man. Use the coupon code SHOWTHEART15, save yourself some good money. What more can you ask for?
You know what more I could ask for?
What more can you ask for?
I don't know. You know who else gives me a boner?
Who?
Stipe Miocic.
I thought you were going to say Vape-Rite.
Well, speaking of Vape-Rite.
Oh, speaking of
speak on it.
Vape-Rite. CBD oil, 100% organic.
Organic.
All you have to do is take a puff of this vaporizer that will not damage your lungs like
it's the Whole Foods
like cigarette
CBD
smoking.
oil,
Yeah,
man.
burning is different than vaporizing. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Carcinogens are not forming. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, we don't need to get technical. And
We're not.
with you.
Exactly. I like what you did there. But basically, go to vaporite.org. Type in the coupon code SHOWTHEART. Save yourself money on some CBD oil that will honestly help with reducing the inflammation in your body. Yes. If you're somebody that takes care of your body and trains hard on a regular basis, you need to do all that you can. And one of those pieces to the puzzle is reducing that inflammation. CBD oil has shown to do that. Come on, man.
Let's go.
Vapebright.org. So what were you saying about the main event?
Yo, Stipe. Damn, I never thought. Who would have thought that Stipe would be the GOAT of the heavyweights?
Who'd have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it?
Honestly, man, I thought about that the other night when he won.
Yeah.
Right? All these thoughts are stewing in your head right after the fights. And I tried to think back when he first won the title, he beat Fabricio, right?
Yeah.
And I picked Fabricio to win that fight.
And what we're saying about Fabricio, he might be...
Exactly. Yeah. They were saying the same thing. They're like, oh, Fabricio, if he beats him, he's the GOAT because he beat Fedor, he beat
Kane.
He beat Overeem. He beat all the top heavyweights ever.
Man.
Right? And... what's up? Where he at now?
Yo,
where he at now?
I hope Fabrizio's not listening to this.
No. I'm talking about Stipe.
Oh, Stipe.
Where is he at now?
Yo, Stipe
Stipe's at top of the world.
Cleveland, you got yourself a goat.
Dude, you look at the top 5 in the heavyweight division. We're not counting the champion. He beat them all. The only guy he hasn't beaten in the top 5 is Kane, and that's because he's been injured.
And that is going to be the biggest heavyweight championship match, I think, of all time.
Yeah.
Until maybe down the road or whatever. But right now, that's a fight I need to see.
And this fight against Francis Ngannou. It was a powerful fight for Stipe. It showed that he's true championship quality because he switched up the game plan and did what he had to do. Yeah. He wrestled this dude. He got him really exhausted. Got him really tired. Ate some shots. You got to eat some shots.
Yeah.
But he played the game plan that he needed to win the fight. That's what champions do.
He actually pulled the game plan through basically the same one Overeem wanted to do, but Overeem couldn't get him down to the ground, man, unfortunately, and he didn't have that chin that Stipe, because it seemed like Stipe took a few good shots. You could see after the presser, like he had a nice little shiner.
He did, but I wouldn't put it all on Stipe's chin. I would say I would put it on his movement.
True.
He was able to. He had a good game plan. He knew what type of shots to expect from Francis Ngannou.
Yeah,
and he was moving his head a lot.
Yeah.
He was avoiding big shots. He got hit with a couple, but he was avoiding a lot of the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I attest that to him being ready, him having good movement,
good
the
coaching.
setups of the takedowns. I don't know if you noticed, what Stipe wanted to do was use his speed.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were in the middle of the octagon, he would move his head and try to strike.
Yeah.
But the second he would get really close to the cage, what did he do?
Slip out.
Slip down, go for the takedown.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. And the concept behind that too is you can't use your speed in and out when the cage is behind you.
True.
So when he's in the middle of the octagon, it'll work, right? You have confidence that you'll be able to slip punches and knock this guy out, which Stipe has the ability to. But once the cage is behind you, you can't do that. Yeah. But what else is going on? The guy has forward momentum. He's stalking you. He's starting to load up, knowing that he's cornering you. Mm-hmm. So what is the least thing that Ngannou's expecting? He's loading up.
Yeah.
He's not expecting to get taken down.
That's true.
And that happened a couple times in the fight, and Stipe got the takedown with that kind of strategy in mind.
And just did whatever. It's just crazy how
masterful.
Francis was not ready, man.
No.
You could tell he was not expecting to be on the ground.
No.
And in the beginning, it just looked like, oh man, Stipe's trying to go for a takedown. Francis is just gonna brush him off and just start wailing at him, and he was persistent with a takedown. And then, man, I'm just impressive, man. Just overall impressed with Stipe. It just shows like to be the best, to be called the greatest heavyweight, you have to have
the total package.
The total package, man. It just shows.
Yeah. It showed a gaping hole in Francis's game. I mean, the other side of his game is like it's just so much power behind the strikes, and he's got some technique to him. He's not just throwing strikes out there, but it's so scary. Yeah, it's like the Ronda Rousey effect. It's so scary that when she gets close to you, that you actually secede to the technique.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, man.
So people are knocking themselves out because they're so scared. They're hesitating. Mm-hmm. Boom. But Stipe was like, nah, I have the strategy. I have the game plan.
I know what
and
I'm
it worked
doing.
out, yeah.
Just so calm. He has my favorite, like his walkout, like when he walks out, his face.
Yeah. He didn't even shake anybody's hand.
Nah,
in his mind, he's like, there's nothing else going on right now.
I love how playful he is, like when you watch him on Embedded and all this.
Yeah.
How, like, jovial he is, but once you see him walk out, you're like, oh, he's ready, man. Yeah. Every time, man, you're like, yo, he is ready.
Sure. Yeah. And I feel that I kind of called it. I mean, it could have gone the other way easily, but what I was saying before the fight was the way I think it'll go out is the experienced championship fighter is going against the inexperienced. Never been a champion fighter. Yeah. Never been 5 rounds. Never had the experience of 5 rounds and experience of what he needs to do to win the fight. Yeah. And Francis doesn't have the experience to know when to like be Francis Ngannou and when to be the guy that just needs to win the fight.
Yes.
And Stipe knows how to do that now. Yeah. So that's what happened. He outclassed him, and I felt that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what champions do.
Yeah. Do you see Francis coming back anytime down the road?
I see him retiring. If you ask me. No,
heard it here
he's
first.
he's
the
definitely
Predator is done.
yeah. No, he's definitely gonna come back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
I think most people won't be able to take him down anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Just most people won't be able to get him down, so he still has more time.
Yeah.
And the one thing that kept coming up is people kept saying he wasn't ready for the conditioning, for the cardio, and then people were asking him, was it the cardio? Was it the cardio? To me, yeah, cardio plays a big factor, but what was going on is I could throw punches for 5 rounds. What I can't do is defensive wrestling for 5 rounds. He got caught in an exhausting game, a game that's going to exhaust anybody. If Stipe was on the other end of that, let's say Stipe fights Kane, and Kane does exactly the same thing to him that he did. You're going to see Stipe with bad cardio. If Demetrius Johnson fights a guy that does that to him, Demetrius Johnson is going to get tired. It's not the cardio factor. It's what's being implemented on you, a draining style. The style was meant to drain you.
I think that paired with the haymakers Ngannou was throwing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then it must have been
Yes.
defeating catching him and not knocking him out like
Yes.
every other opponent.
Exactly.
So I think all of that was just a perfect
Absolutely.
storm for just him. You could see how defeated he was.
Yeah, you just said it right there.
Sit down. He wouldn't even look at the coach. His coach was trying to I don't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
He could have been giving the perfect game plan, but Francis wasn't feeling it. Or he was just he was zoned out, man. He just knew he was defeated.
For sure.
Steve
For sure,
even
man.
talked about it. How it was you could tell his will was gone. Even though he's a tough fighter, you could tell.
Yeah.
Once an athlete smells defeat or just that shoulder, just kind of the shoulders plop down, it's a wrap, man. You know how much confidence someone gets from that?
For sure, man. I agree.
Yeah, man.
On that note, if you guys like our podcast, please like, share, subscribe, rate, review, all that kind of stuff on iTunes, on social media. It goes a long way. If you have
really does,
suggestions on what you want us to talk about, please do so. Shout out to our sponsors, Vape Bright and Vertigear.
If you want any guests
Mod Cup.
on, shout them out.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Any guests? Yeah, so check it out, guys, and thanks for listening.
We out. Peace.